San Francisco's street conditions are deteriorating so bad that you have an artist literally begging San Francisco for help after unhoused woman blocks the gallery elevator with debris and all sorts of different rubbish. So here's the thing about San Francisco. Okay, the city's going broke. People are leaving. It's incidents like these, and with the city truly not caring at all, and it amazes me that San Francisco is, for the first time in decades, going broke. They're actually operating at a budget deficit. They're in the red. And they're probably going to have to borrow a few $1 billion from the actual central government just to fund their everyday goods. I have no clue how they spent through all the money through their coffers when that many startups and business owners were being taxed. But, well, now they can't even help the homeless individuals and the mentally ill because they're completely broke. Now, check this out. A San Francisco resident says that he doesn't know what to do after unsuccessful calls to 311 and 911. City councils as well. So the dude called 3 people, and they pretty much called them to say, hey, can you help and try to remove this lady, help her a little bit, but also most importantly, get rid of the debris and get rid of the rubbish and all the trash around the area, because it's a public street, right? Because the guy has a big art show coming up, and you can't really have an art show. You can't really have people coming in if they're just homeless people in front of your entrance, if there's just trash, if there's just bodily fluids and poop on the floor. I don't think people want to go to an art gallery with that kind of setup in the front. I know I wouldn't. What about you? You probably wouldn't either. So if you check this out, the dude's literally begging, okay? At this point, it's probably begging on the knees. And it's been unattainable when the garbage seems to be multiplied by the day. And this is crazy. Like, I've never seen this before. First of all, there shouldn't even be this much trash in front of like a street in the first place. I mean, this is a first world country, right? But why is it a first world tech city with third world elements? That's what I'm saying. So if you check this out on the map of San Francisco, it used to really just be restricted to this area, the Tenderloin district, before the pandemic. But now it's basically spread out. You even have places like as far up as Fisherman's Wharf, having a few tents here and there. Mission Bay is also getting a lot of crazy stuff. The Mission is also getting tents everywhere. The tents are pretty much going everywhere. And every single day, San Francisco gets, I guarantee, probably hundreds of calls of this, and this. Can you please come over and remove it and clean it up? And the city's like, nah, we're not going to do anything. I mean, that's crazy. Have you ever seen a city that operates like this? Because I haven't. Usually, cities care a lot about their institutions. They will come right away and fix things up. But San Francisco, I don't know how you could operate a city like this. I mean, I've been to several cities. I'm a big fan of traveling. I've been to several first world countries in the Middle East, Asia, a little bit of Europe, not really my take, but most first world countries don't have trash at all. Like, I'm serious, okay? Literally, you do not see piles and piles of trash. Like, what is this? Like, a landfill? Like, this is crazy. This shouldn't even happen in the first place. Not to mention calling 3 different phone numbers with nobody helping, and you have an art show coming up. I mean, I don't think this person will ever host an art show in San Francisco. And check this out. You even got a San Francisco business owner home to just a simple sandwich shop. Gets punched in the face by a man urinating outside the shop. Lack of consequences, of course. Guarantee if he gets punched a few more times, the guy just gets away scot-free. Oh, and by the way, if a store gets robbed, nothing really happens either. You even have a dude from Afghanistan. He has a vape shop in San Francisco. Gets robbed $100,000 worth of merchandise. Dude says it straight up. San Francisco is worse than Afghanistan. Because he says, at least in Afghanistan, if you rob somebody, there's consequences. So it's not really that great for San Francisco to be compared to Afghanistan and come out on the bottom. That's not great at all. And just to pretty much tell you what's going to happen to two of one of the biggest tech events out there, you have Red Hat. These guys are under the umbrella of IBM. And of course, when you see stuff like this, when there's just trash, when there's just stuff everywhere, and you have like an art show or you have a business and the city doesn't care, when you have the city literally not caring for something as serious as this, Red Hat is now moving their 2024 convention to Denver from San Francisco, because at least Denver is okay. I've been to Denver a few times, tours a few schools here and there. And Denver really isn't that bad of a place. Sure, it has its downtown problems, but I think all American cities do. But, it's pretty clean. The weather's pretty nice, and there's a lot of fun things to do. The nightlife is pretty decent, and there's also several colleges around the area. So it's actually a pretty safe city to hang out with. Not to mention, you could also light up as well. Now, Red Hat, they're saying pretty much indirectly that San Francisco is way too dangerous to have their guests and their tech boys to be walking around in San Francisco. Even Good Morning America is like, don't walk around the streets. It's very dangerous. And San Francisco is really not even that big of a city, all things considered. It's a peninsula. It's a pretty small city. And now it's getting worse and worse. Now head over towards the piers, right? You got like Pier 39 and stuff. This is kind of like where all the good part of San Francisco is. In-N-Out Burger, luxury condos up here, Fisherman's Wharf. Even the tourism of this place is getting super duper empty. And I can kind of see why Red Hat wants to leave. They see news articles like these, and they automatically get turned off from San Francisco. Now, what about Meta? What's Meta doing? Meta is also canceling their 2024 meeting at the San Francisco area. That's crazy. Because Meta is a massive company, and when Meta is leaving, that's not great either. And Meta is also cutting down a large portion of their square footage at San Francisco. They don't want to stay at San Francisco. It's such a dump. Here's the thing. A city could be kind of a dump, but if the officials respond really quickly, a lot of people will put up with it. The reason why people are leaving San Francisco in droves, it's not really because of just the street conditions, right? Don't get me wrong, street conditions are pretty bad in San Francisco, like all times. But for the first time in a long time, the city officials do not care. They do not care at all. You call them, oh, there's like 100 tents outside your apartment building. We can't really do anything. Or they just put you on hold. And that's what's going on in Oakland, right? You call 911, you're on hold, like you're on Spectrum. It's wild. Only in San Francisco. You can't make this up. Like, if you just run the city normally without any fancy gimmicks, it wouldn't be like this. I don't know, man. I've been to so many different countries and cities, and it just amazed me to see San Francisco deteriorate like this. I went there in 2019 in San Francisco. It really wasn't even that bad. San Francisco had its problems in 2019, but at least it was packed shoulder to shoulder with tourists and also tech workers and college kids. Now it's completely empty. Nobody wants to come here. Nobody wants to go to school here. Nobody wants to vacation here. This is why Airbnbs are down so much, right? Out of 30 nights, many Airbnb people say they only rent out 2 to 3 nights a month, whereas it used to be like 90% full or 95% full. So it's getting worse and worse for San Francisco, and when you have big tech conferences leaving, it's not great. And then you got Whole Foods. Whole Foods in downtown San Francisco closes due to spiraling crime. So Whole Foods makes an announcement, which was honestly pretty wild. They said that they actually value their employees. They don't want their employees to go through this crazy amount of stuff just to go to work. And there's increased drug use, increased crime near the Whole Foods on 8th and Markets, opened a year ago. And the location was so bad, there was so much shoplifting that they were pretty much losing money. Not to mention the street conditions are bad. Not only does it ruin the brand, so Whole Foods like, screw this. We're closing down. We're done. And here's the thing, you got Old Navy leaving, Anthropologie leaving, Nordstrom is leaving, anchor stores that are leaving, conferences that are leaving. I mean, what isn't leaving in San Francisco? I guess the trash and the tents, I guess. But right now, San Francisco is just completely a dirty hole. Nobody wants to go there. I really hope they fix it because it really is a great American city if it's fixed up. The location's fantastic, the weather's fantastic, but the laws and what's going on there is crazy. It's absurd, in my opinion. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you later. Comment, like, and subscribe.